Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the Hobby King Mission D, which is a copy of a Yokomo DRB, which I believe is the correct way you say it. I think it's a licensed copy, so they didn't steal anything or anything like that, but they just made it a lot cheaper. This car itself normally is about $150, and it goes for about $85, and sometimes on sale $75. That's a really good steal. So I'm going to go over what makes this a good deal and what makes it not a good deal. So as long as you guys know what you're in for, it might be a good deal for you, because I know that sometimes when you get into high-end drifting, you can pour between $500 and $800 to $1,000 into your car. So, so I'm going to go over what my experience has been with this. Some of it's been really positive, some of it's been really negative. Okay. The first thing to point out, which is really pretty funny, is just how they kind of copied all the name brands. This is NSSMO, which is Nismo, but it's missing the I. So instead of it being a Nissan Skyline, it's a Niacin Skillin. My son likes to pronounce it that way. It's really funny. But as you guys can see, it has a lot of great scale details. It has the rear mirrors. I didn't put the windshield wipers on because they looked a little bit bulky, but the tail fin is really awesome. You can add lights to this thing if you wanted to. It's really, really nice. But let me go ahead and take off the body here. And I will go over some of the woes and some of the pros. The woes and the pros. That's funny. I just made that up. Alright, so let's take the body off. The body itself, really, really nice. It holds up to impact quite well. The only impact marks I've seen here, some like paint stress, was somewhere over here. I can't even see it now. So, yeah, it's not bad. So let's put this here. Alright, so off the bat, there's a lot of forum posts on this. Is that what you need to right off the bat is to replace these diffs right here. This blue metal piece right here, it will break because it's made up. The stock one is made out of plastic. Why they did that, I have no clue. So when I first got this, I actually did a modification, which one other YouTuber did, is where he just took heat shrink, and he heat shrinked about 4 layers of heat shrink around the plastic collar here, and it actually made it work just fine. Now, I started off that way. I did the back, but I forgot to do the front. So immediately after about 4 runs or something on this, four batteries, the front collar let loose. So I went ahead and bought the front and rear. These are the ball diff cups, and this is the only ones that's really full metal. So I replaced the front and back with the ball diffs, but I didn't put the balls in there, so I just hot glued these together. So basically I have no diffs on here whatsoever, and it still drifts just fine. Now, one thing to note is this car is supposed to have a locked diff, I believe, in the front and a ball diff in the rear, or vice versa. It wasn't like that, so it was misadvertised as having a ball diff in either the front or the rear. So you guys have to make sure you note that. And the reason I mentioned that this is a copy of a Yokomo DRB is all the DRB parts work for this chassis as well. So that just keep that in note. So off the bat, we started off with $85 for the car, plus shipping was probably about 20 bucks from the warehouse. The front and rear diffs ended up being $44 plus shipping from the international warehouse, so that was a hard pill to swallow. So I thought, great, you know, I got that together, got it drifting around, and it was drifting great. That's the one thing about this car, is it drifts really, really well. So in my limited experience, that is. This is my first drifting car. So so immediately after that, the front dog bone, the drive shafts, which are right here, they just fell apart. Everything came apart on them. So when you first get this model, there are some little tiny grub screws that are in these drive shafts that you need to make sure that you go through and put thread lock on so they don't back out. So I did that. They fell apart. They did that. And let's see, what is the next thing that happened? Yes, okay. The steering turnbuckles right here, even though I had not been rough on it, or I hadn't broken anything or run into any curbs or anything, one of these turnbuckles broke. And so I replaced this with a DRB aluminum ones, and that cost me another $35. So, and then shipping on top of that was a little bit more, so we'll add that up as well. Got that replaced. What happened next? A lot of things happened. Well, just recently, the front drive shaft just completely broke. just snapped into two different pieces. The metal was twisted. It was when my son was driving it. He was driving it very gingerly. And I don't know what's going on with these drive shafts, but they are a problem. So I went ahead and ordered a new set of drive shafts for this thing. And that cost me $44. So here we are. We're probably up to close to 200 bucks at this point. Oh yes, I forgot. The wheels, even though they look great, these are great looking wheels. I hit a curb sideways and just cracked the crap out of it, and then my good buddy Brian hit me from the side and finally broke the thing all the way through. I should have put some I should have put some glue in the wheel when it broke, but I forgot to, and I went out drifting with it. And like I said, guys, this car, it drives really nice, and that's the only thing. You know, if you know about these problems to begin with, like you're always going to buy new wheels anyway, so you might as well get some stronger wheels. These are the HPI wheels. I got them from Hobby People, but just the fact that, you know, it didn't come with a ball diff when it said it was supposed to come with a ball diff, and the fact that I had to go through all this stuff to get this thing running right, it cost a bit of money. Now, like I said, in comparison to the guys that are really, really into this and they spend, $400 to $1,000 on their cars, it's still a good compromise. I can't fault this thing because it looks good, and when it's working, it performs really well. So I will give you guys an update report after I get the drive shafts taken care of, the front drive shafts. Hopefully I don't break any more parts. And I'm actually getting, because I've been drifting this so much, you can see the tread on these wheels are actually getting quite thin. I don't know how long drift wheels work, but I have some on order, so I have 4 wheels coming in, and like I said, I had to replace the rims as well, so we'll put that into the cost of things that I had to replace as well. So anyway, guys, take that for what it's worth. Like I said, I still like it, and it's one of my most fun cars. I have this, and I have a 4x4. I actually like driving this more because it takes a lot of, guys, it takes a lot of skill to drift well. So, so with that, guys, I'm just going to leave you guys at that, and thanks for joining my channel. We'll talk to you later. Bye.